Hello, my name is Brittney Cook, and I'm from North Carolina, and I attended North Carolina Agricultural and Technical State University, home of the A&T 4, who played a major role in civil rights and justice for all by demonstrating resistance to racism and unfair treatment, forming the first ever sit-ins. Aggie Pride to all of my Aggies out there. I graduated with a bachelor's in English, and upon graduating, I moved to Shanghai, China, where I currently reside. I've taught all ages, but most of my experience is related to early childhood education. I've been a kindergarten teacher now, going on 3 years, and this year I'm teaching 2-year-old students at a very renowned school called Pinghe. I'm currently enrolled in a program called Teach Now, a program that was made for busy teachers like me, or teachers that are aspiring, or teachers that live overseas, to get an American teaching license from either the state of DC or Arizona. So our first assignment is to make a video discussing the flipped classroom.
Every day, 7.2 million students walk into classrooms throughout the United States. These classrooms generally look the same. 30 students sit in rows of desks, taking notes in their notebooks, while the teacher stands at a whiteboard teaching a lesson. Regardless of ability level, each student receives the exact same information at the exact same pace. As Ms. Jackson presents this same material, the students respond differently. Tommy gets it, while Allison is bored, and Maria is lost. At the end of the day, these same students head home. While at home, they sit at the kitchen table doing their homework and trying to remember what Miss Jackson said. Students like Tommy make it most of the way through the homework, while others, like Allison, find it easy and fly through it. At the same time, students like Maria get frustrated and need some extra help. Miss Jackson recognizes that students have different needs and would love to work individually with each student, but this requires time and resources that her school does not have. One solution to this problem is the flipped classroom. Here's what it looks like.
Now, lectures are recorded and posted online.
The American Civil War lasted from 1861 to 1865.
Or teachers can assign outside videos from the popular Khan Academy and TED Talks.
Pretty small, yeah.
Students watch these videos as homework outside of class.
Why do you say it's plutonium?
In class, students now do what was once considered homework, assignments designed to test learning comprehension. Clintondale teachers say this allows more time for one-on-one help and often encourages students to collaborate in problem solving.
In a nutshell, the flipped classroom is an innovative teaching strategy that incorporates technology in hopes that teachers can have more one-on-one time with students and to be able to assist and assess struggling students by completing homework in class while watching lectures or other educational resources at home. Hence why it's called the flipped classroom. So basically, the traditional way is just flipped. Instead of doing your homework at home, you're doing it at school, and instead of learning all of the lectures, which I'll discuss later, instead of learning those in the classroom, you're basically learning it at home on your computer or your tablet or your phone. And of course, with this being a method that differs completely from the traditional norm, there are pros and cons, and many scholars are on the fence if whether the method is effective or not. But first, let's focus on some teachers who do find this method effective and also students who find it effective as well.
Frankly, we weren't doing very well, and so we had to make a change. I mean, we were desperate for change.
His aha moment came while coaching his 11-year-old son's baseball team. Having learned to record and post instructional videos for his players to watch outside of practice, he was struck by how much time was then left to focus on individual players on the field. He saw the educational potential starting with the power of videos.
kids can go back and watch them as many times as they want. And in me as an instructor or expert, I don't have to redo that all the time, and I can spend my time with the students in class and actually assisting them. And so if I could do that with 11-year-olds, imagine what we could do with 15 or 16-year-olds doing math.
Green went all in, flipping the entire school, urging his staff to rethink the use of technology and how it complements traditional teaching, and getting local businesses to help fund the effort.
So the legislative branch makes a law.
I really looked at the videos more because I knew I might not have as much time at home because my sisters are in college and they need the computer, so I'm like, I can do it on my phone. And the bus ride is like 30 minutes, so I probably can get like half of my assignment done.
Green says that taken all together, after 3 years, the flip is paying off.
Our ACT gains have shown, doubling the national average as far as ACT gains. State testing, we've had some mixed results on that. And we've also seen an increase in graduation rates to almost 90%, and college acceptance rates at 80%.
I actually just had an aha moment too. I tried to imagine if when I was in high school or middle school, would this have worked for me? And I really think that it would have made a huge difference had teachers incorporated more technology or a different approach, period, to our classroom environment, because it was very traditional, and I did find myself always tending to get bored with lectures or reading assignments and things like that. And most of the classes that I really excelled in were with teachers who took different approaches to, basically giving instruction and teaching lessons. So I know I had one cool math teacher when I was in middle school, and she was very funny. She incorporated a lot of comedy and things like that. Now, she didn't incorporate so much technology, but it just wasn't the norm. It was something that grabbed all of the students' attention, and most students in her class were able to excel. The reason why I only mention middle school and high school is because when I was in elementary school and kindergarten, it actually did involve a lot of technology. Like, we learned many songs and we watched many videos just in order to grab our attention more and to consolidate information and reinforce information. Now, I can't really remember this being a flipped classroom environment, but I do know that a lot of technology was involved. We had computer programs, phonics programs, we read books on computers. I do remember that being very helpful. And even before school, it was technology that really helped me be ahead of the game. It was programs like Sesame Street, Barney, Teletubbies. It was a lot of things that taught me, things about manners, or got me interested in learning more about language and things like that. So I do find that it can be very effective. But of course, there's always cons to everything that you do provide, or there's always maybe some flaws or some shortcomings or some obstacles that you're going to face. So let's listen to some obstacles that people may face in regards to the flipped classroom.
One problem the school faced head-on: students who can't afford or don't have access to technology outside of class. They're given extra time in the school's media lab.
Segregation before 1954.
Taking the technology-driven approach further, some lesson plans are now tailored to have students use the latest trends in social media.
Thanks to the 19th Amendment, us women have the right to vote. We deserve to vote. We deserve to vote.
Like this project that required constitutional amendments to be summed up in 6 seconds for the popular website Vine.
What is exciting to me about the flipped classroom is that it gets teachers asking two really important fundamental questions. what are the best ways for me to use my time, especially the very precious time I have in classrooms with my students? And then what are the kinds of direct instruction that I could provide that could be digitized so that people could watch it again?
You'll notice that the last set of notes I gave you were for week 5.
But Reich says that flipping alone isn't enough. As with any lesson plan, it all depends on exactly what's being offered.
If what we see from the flipped classroom is that we take bad lectures and uninteresting worksheet problems that characterize a lot of the experience that students have in schools, and we simply flip the order of those two things, the odds that we see significant improvement in our schools is pretty low.
The way this particular school approached addressing the problem by offering extra hours in the computer lab and making it more exciting by allowing students to submit assignments by collaborating with other students while using popular apps like Vine, Instagram, and Snapchat is quite amazing. But I strongly doubt that all schools will be afforded these same opportunities in regards to funding. It will definitely take a lot of funding to make sure that all students have access to certain technology tools like laptops, smartphones, and tablets. Also, depending on the age, some parents may not agree with their children having access to the internet, especially with all of the troubling encounters that young people are facing currently on the web. Also, some teachers will need special training themselves on how to use certain programs and how to make it more entertaining and attention-grabbing for students, but time efficient for them as well. For example, I've spent over 3 hours making this video assignment and I haven't even started the editing phase. This leads me to Justin's remark that for this to be effective, teachers can not only flip the order of the classroom, but they must flip the approach to reaching students in general. Many teachers will simply just do a job to get the job done, but they may not spend as much time on the fine details due to a lack of interest, resources, or time efficiency. In conclusion, I think it's a great idea, but I do not think that it's for every teacher or that it should be something that teachers rely on Monday through Friday. Teachers' main focus, whether they want to use this flipped classroom method or not, should be to engage students. Some students are engaged better through online learning, while some are not. I definitely agree that classroom lectures, basically a teacher just talking, is not engaging 9 times out of 10. This is why I enjoy being a kindergarten teacher, because we are able to demonstrate concepts using minimal talking and allow the students to then explore on their own while being there to guide them when they need help. Considering the pros and the cons in regards to the flipped classroom method, I'm not really on the fence. I'm actually excited to try this method out with my students, and I think it will be very helpful as long as I can guarantee that all students will have the same resources available at home and that the family will also be engaged. I'll try it out later with my classroom and I'll keep you guys posted. So thanks so much for listening to On the Fence with Brittney. Bye-bye.